Hi, it's Finlow-Bates here, and in today's video I want to talk about patents, and particularly the fact that patents offer a lot more than may first seem obvious. Now, most people who've looked at them briefly understand the basic concept of a patent, which is it's a right to prevent somebody else from practicing an invention that you have managed to claim through the patent office granting you a patent. So the obvious first use of a patent is that if you have a competitor who infringes your invention, then you can take them to court, sue them for infringement, and get a cease and desist order from the court that tells your competitor you're no longer allowed to use that invention. And that, of course, gives you immediately a competitive advantage over your competitor. So that's the obvious use of a patent. And then following on from that is the ability to use a patent to get a competitor to pay you a license fee or damages so you can monetize your invention. And this is particularly useful to inventors who are not particularly good at or not particularly interested in setting up a company to actually practice the invention. Not everybody out there has the skills to be a successful entrepreneur, a startup founder, or has the knowledge as to what is involved to market a product, find product market fit and things like that. In fact, a lot of inventors have no interest in that whatsoever. What they want to do is exercise the little grey cells and come up with novel and interesting ideas that may be useful to humanity, and hopefully get paid something for the effort that they're putting in. Otherwise, what's the motivation to invent other than some kind of internal drive or urge to do so? And this is where we hit a problem, because these non-practicing entities, inventors who invent stuff but don't go off and build the thing that they've invented and try and sell it in the market, are sometimes labeled by companies and individuals as being patent trolls. And I happen to think that's patently wrong. As I've just explained, some people just don't have the skill set or the interest in taking their invention and turning it into something useful, but they would like to profit from the brain power and the skills and the ability that they've put into coming up with the idea in the first place. But anyway, I'm getting distracted from the initial aim of this video, which is to talk about uses for patents. And I've covered the first case, the most obvious and clear one. The second use of patents is to be able to get cross-licensing deals or to defend yourself. So whereas suing for infringement is a kind of a sword in a legal sense, you can also use patents as a shield. If you're a company and you have a substantial patent portfolio, or not even a particularly large one, but just something in the area in which you operate, if somebody sues you for infringement, then the fact that you have a set of patents in the same area allows you to look at whether the person suing you has infringed some of your patents. And that means that then you can countersue, and that encourages arbitration and coming to some kind of mutually beneficial deal, rather than you just having to roll over and accept that you've infringed and now you have to pay damages and may not even be able to operate anymore. So case number two, the cross-licensing deal. And then a third use for patents is the freedom to operate, which has a use when you're looking for things such as partnerships or funding, or some other company taking a stake in your company. So an example here, for example, is the financial industries. Entities like banks are traditionally very risk averse, and as a result, if you have a neobank or a fintech company coming along saying this is the future of finance, you really should partner with us or put some money into us and take a stake in us, one of the things that the bank is going to be interested in is, at some point in the future, is some other company going to turn around and sue this company for patent infringement and basically put them out of business because they can no longer use their idea. And the defense there is to have patents that cover your inventions that you're using in your company's product, because that is a clear sign to, for example, a bank, that this company is not somewhere down the line going to find itself at the wrong end of a patent infringement suit. So it can give investors, partners, confidence that your company has legs, that it will continue to survive and operate in the future. So there you have it, 3 different uses for patents, 2 of them well beyond the obvious one of suing a competitor for infringement to stop them from competing with you in a space that you own through your patents. I've kept this as brief as I possibly could. I hope you found this interesting and educational. Do ask if you have any questions in the comments, because I follow them and I try to answer all sensible questions that I see down there. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.